Hi everyone! So welcome to the third episode of Sleepover Party. I'm super excited because the topic that we are talking about today is one that I am so passionate about, and I'm just so beyond excited to get all into it. Oh my god. But anyways, my little sleepover snack is not very nice at all. I'm actually doing a juice cleanse. So I have these juices from Karmic Juices. Definitely not sponsored because they're fucking disgusting. That video will be out soon, but I'm kind of showing that I'm doing that in this podcast, so it's motivation for me to keep going because I'm only on day 1. And I'm struggling already. I've done juice cleanses like 3 times before. It's a lot of mental strength that I don't have. And I'm not doing it for weight loss reasons, just to clarify. I'm just doing it for a video. And also, I'm a little bit sick. I'm a little bit under the weather. So this is meant to cleanse my system. But I doubt I'll even take a sip of this during the episode because it is so foul. And I really have to prepare myself to drink this. So this is my snack. I hope you have a snack that is a lot more pleasing than mine. So anyways, today, I'm so excited to be talking about manifestation. Oh my god, manifesting is my life, and I think it has always been my life, and I just never knew it until I had the word. So yeah, I feel like I've been manifesting literally since I can remember. I can recall like being a young child and visualizing how my life was going to be. And it freaking happened. You know what I mean? I feel like manifesting also ties into having a life vision and working towards that. And it's kind of like giving yourself no other option. So yeah, already just thoughts are coming to my mind and I'm so excited because this is also to help you guys on how to start your manifestation journey. And like, I wouldn't call myself the most spiritual person at all. I wouldn't even call myself anything. But to be honest, I feel like manifesting in quotations helps me tick off goals, helps me get stuff done, helps me work towards my dreams and makes them a reality. And I think that no matter what religion, no matter what you do, manifesting can be such a positive thing and something that can help you out so much. So I'm here with all the advice and oh my god, I'm so excited. As I got older, I started to find more interest in spirituality in a sense and manifesting, and it didn't really happen, like it wasn't really like a choice. It was just something that happened over time and things just started to click for me and make sense and happen in real life, you know what I'm saying? So it like I was doing these things and I was seeing results. So I'm like, is this real? I don't have the answers for it. I don't have the answer as to whether or not spiritual life is real. However, I do have many, many stories of times that I have manifested things and they have worked. I feel like I've manifested my whole life. I'm not even gonna lie, but this is a touchy subject because obviously some people are more inclined to do things or more inclined to be successful or get what they want because of what they're born into and of their circumstances, you know what I'm saying? And some people simply don't have access to things that they dream of and they don't believe that they can achieve things. And I know that, you know, it's hard because I'm just speaking from personal experience. Like I've always wanted to be a YouTuber, and obviously being on YouTube is quite accessible to a lot of people. Like majority of people have phones. Like I started recording on my phone, but I just want to say I did not grow up with money. Like obviously my parents did a lot for me. I will never ever like deny that. But I definitely did not obviously have the resources that some other people would. And, you know, sometimes it's about making use of what you have and turning it into something more. And it's hard to see that when you're in that situation. But I literally felt like that my whole life. And I don't want to shit on anyone or anything because, again, my parents did everything for me. And I definitely really want to talk about like my growing up story and all of that in another episode. So let's not get too deep into that right now. But yeah, all in all, I didn't grow up in riches. I lived with a single mom and a single dad in separate households. I never really had any guidance on what to do with the kind of things that I wanted to do in life. Like growing up, I always had dreams. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be famous. I'm going to buy a house and have children and, you know, give them what I didn't have, even though I had a rich childhood in sense of my experiences. My childhood was so rich with love, filled with love and joy. However, growing up, my dream was to always be successful. And my parents always taught me, both of them, even though they're separated and they're two very completely different people, they both taught me no matter what you do in terms of your job, you will never be happy in life unless you enjoy your job. That was a tough weight on my shoulders because I'm like, what the hell am I going to do that I'm going to enjoy? I couldn't think of absolutely anything that I wanted to do that I would love, but I found it, in a sense, kind of really impossible to get to where I wanted to be. And so I think because I had that mindset where I knew always deep down what I wanted to do, that there wasn't another option. And I think I'm going to repeat myself multiple times in this episode because one of the things that I would call manifesting is having no other option. It's you want something so bad and you have to have it. Therefore, there's literally no other option. You can't do anything else. And all my life, I wanted to be a freaking YouTuber. My dad introduced me to YouTube. I would make at-home videos and I would obviously never post them because I didn't understand how. I didn't know how. I would just have a little camcorder and I'd record myself and then I'd like watch over the videos on the computer, but I would never, post anything. My dad always says this. He's a little bit of a businessman and he always says, in business, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I think that definitely ties into manifestation. And I'm not saying, if you don't know the best people for what you're interested in, you're not going to make it, because that's not the case. I knew freaking no one. I literally knew no one. It's more so about energy. I think who you have around you affects your life more than you know. It's hard because you don't really think about that when you're in it, And I've always, this is crazy, but whenever someone comes into my life, I know whether or not they're going to stay in my life. It's not really a choice. It's kind of, you can just sense it. I don't know if that's just me, but I always feel negative energies in people and I will ignore it. I will be like, no, I love this person. They're amazing for me. I have so much fun with them. And oftentimes I'll ignore the deep, deep, deep feeling of bad energy and it'll come up later and it'll bite me in the bum. I'm not going to sit here and be like, act on your first instinct of bad energy, because I personally have never done that. I've just acknowledged the feeling, chosen to forget about it and move on, because these people come into your lives to teach you lessons and that makes you who you are in life. I think it's always important to acknowledge your first instinct because the people that you have around you can affect your energy. Have you ever noticed that, just randomly one day you walk up to a group of people and everyone's happy and everyone's amazing, so you feel happy and amazing. And then you walk to a different group of people and they're all miserable and angry and, kind of bickering and fighting, and then negative energy comes onto you. It's literally inevitable to start feeling the feelings that the other people are feeling around you. So that is why it is so important to be around people that have good energy and that make you feel amazing. And that can literally impact your entire life because it can impact your motivation. People get into the wrong group of friends and their lives change forever. So it's so important to surround yourself with good people with good intentions. That is huge advice because energy is everything and we all have energy. Life is energy. So it's a bit technical to get into the whole vibrations, we all emit different auras and stuff. I'm not too into that, but I definitely believe that we all emit energy and it changes each day. But all in all, you know who's a good person, and I know you know because I know. And I kind of look at manifestation as it's a subconscious choice. You know what you want, so you make your mind up. And in the back of your head, that's always your goal. So you're always subconsciously working towards it. And I think you can I know that you can actually manifest both good things and bad things. And it's one of those kind of situations where you have to always kind of force yourself to look at the positive side of life. I think it was my dad. I can't remember if it was my mom or my dad, but I think it was my dad. Every time I was angry or pissed off when I was little, he would sing to me, always look on the bright side of life. And, I would be pissed off in my moment, but deep down, I'll be like, ha, giggling. It's so true. Always look on the bright side of life, This is turning into a motivational speech. But it really helps. It really helps just to think of the positives and then your life will be positive. It's all about emitting the energy that you want to receive. Manifesting, I love it because it's literally as simple as making a choice of what you want and working towards it. It's not wondering, it's like knowing. It's knowing what you're going to do. Like growing up, I knew, it wasn't a question. I knew I would be successful. I knew that I would have a little pet that would love to go in handbags, and these things happen to me. It's inevitable. It's a choice in your life. You've made it. It's going to happen. Okay. It's crazy for me to sit here and say, oh, the handbag thing, because growing up, I always wanted a little pet that loved to go around with me in handbags and stuff because it was like cute. It was like something I always wanted. And, I was always like, one day I'm going to have that. My pet's going to love being in a handbag. I have always had like big dogs and I've had other cats and stuff and they've all hated me dressing them up and all that. And then I got Prada and everything about him just clicked into everything that I've ever wanted. He's like my soulmate in the form of a pet. So even though that's just a crazy little stupid example, it can be as simple as that. I went through a stage in my life where, and sorry, this sounds really bad, but I hated myself. I looked at myself and I'm like, oh my God, you are so ugly. And I always had my parents reiterating in my head how lovely I was, how nice I was. But then I got to this point and I'm like, I'm none of that. And I think naturally with like teenager life growing up, everyone hits a point where they're in their freaking puppy fat stage and they're hating on themselves. And I was in that stage and I could not see a way out. And one day I turned to myself and I'm like, I'm not ugly. I am beautiful, just like my parents say I am. If they see it in me, I can see it in myself. I started doing this thing where every time I would look in the mirror, when I would leave the mirror, I would smile so that like my last image of myself in my head was of me smiling and being happy. And ever since I started doing that, my life turned around for the better and I started viewing myself in a more positive way. I became more confident. If you're not the most typically attractive person, but you have confidence, that makes you the most attractive person in the world. And looks, as I said, is not everything. And that is something my mum taught me growing up. I didn't manifest in the spiritual way, what I'm trying to say, to become better looking. But I think my attitude manifested me to become better looking, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? My positive attitude and outlook on myself changed the way that people viewed me, therefore making me more attractive. And obviously, I spend a lot of time and work into making myself look pretty. I do a lot of glow ups, as you guys know. Without these glow ups, I would be struggling. But it all comes from within. Everything comes from within with everyone. I also do not want that to come across as conceited. That was just an example because, everyone goes through their stage in life where they aren't feeling good. I saw this story. It was on TikTok. Let's just say you're about to get paid a lump sum of money of freaking 50 grand. Imagine how amazing you would feel knowing that you're going to receive that 50 grand in a week. Leading up to earning that 50 grand, you are just so happy, you're so ecstatic, you start doing things in life that you would do with the 50 grand, even though you don't have the 50 grand, you start getting excited. Moral of the story is that week where you're feeling so amazing because you know that you're going to receive the 50 grand is a way that you can look at manifesting. It's putting yourself in that higher vibration of energy and feeling better and feeling happy and looking forward to and being excited for something. And ever since I saw that TikTok, I have been applying that to my life. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited for this, for that. Even though it's literally not in my future at all, I'm excited for it because I want it to be in my future. Therefore, it is in my future. So I think that is just kind of an easy way to look at manifesting. And it's not as deep as people make it. It's literally just being excited for things and kind of visualizing what you're going to receive. I feel like some people are quite lost in life. And I can say I was one of those people because I had no freaking clue what I wanted to do. When it came to me being in year 12, you kind of have to choose what career path you want to go down because, you have to choose your uni, you have to start applying to places. I was fucking stuck. I was in a rut. I was miserable. I didn't know what to do because I didn't want to do anything that was laid out in front of me. And I remember being 13 in year 7, and I did like a careers course with my teacher, and my dad was there, and he had a whole wheel of every single career that you could do. I remember it so vividly, and the horrible gut feeling I had because I looked at that entire graph, and out of all of the hundreds of freaking jobs that there were on that graph, not one of them I wanted to do. And for 6 years leading up to the end of my school graduation, like it was like an impending doom. There was nothing that I wanted to do. There were things that I was kind of interested in, but it was like I didn't really actually want to do it. And my dad was always a lot of pressure on me. He's like, you need to know, you need to decide. So it was the year before I graduated high school, like end of 2018. And I filmed a birthday get ready with me because, I always filmed YouTube videos and I would never post them. I would always do it. And I'm like, I'm going to freaking post it. I'm going to make this YouTube video and I'm going to post it and I'm going to be viral. I filmed it. I was super excited. I edited it and I showed it to my boyfriend at the time. And oh my God, I will never forget how horrible it was. He was like, this is so cringe. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this is embarrassing. This is just a joke. You can't post this. Like, this is stupid. And oh my God, once he said that to me, I saw all of the flaws in everything that I did. I was like, oh my God, this is stupid. Why the hell? Like, I'm freaking 18. Like, why am I posting a YouTube video? Like, this is ridiculous. It honestly like tore down my self-confidence. I actually posted the YouTube video. I got 4,000 views and I deleted it because I was so mortified. I was so embarrassed. Fast forward a year and it was the end of my high school. And again, I was in that place where I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck am I going to do? I'm literally stuck. I was signing up to all these uni courses that I didn't want to do. And even though I was trying to get a good ATAR, there was nothing that I was working towards that I wanted. So year 12 was really hard for me because I never had a sense of direction, but I had a goal. And my goal was, no matter what my boyfriend said, no matter what anyone said, my ex-boyfriend, by the way, not my current boyfriend, but no matter what, I was going to post this YouTube video. I was going to do a year 12 formal video and it was going to go viral. And there wasn't another option. That's what was going to happen. And no matter what anyone said, I was going to make it the best video. So I filmed this YouTube video and I remember sitting in front of the camera and being nervous and not knowing what to say. And I edited that video for a month straight. Every day I would do a little bit of work. I'd research more into how to edit because I had no clue. But I put so much effort. And I was in Hawaii with my mum and I posted the video and I didn't say anything. I didn't tell my mum. I didn't tell my dad. I didn't tell my boyfriend. Like I was just terrified to tell anyone. And I posted it and I left it. I think I was on a bus. I was on like a tour bus and I pressed post and it was up and it was done and I didn't look at it. And then like no one had mentioned anything to me. So I'm like, okay, that's good. Which I don't know why that's good. That's kind of bad, but no one mentioned anything. And then I was out shopping in Hawaii with my mum one night and my dad called me and he's like, I've seen your video. And I'm like, what? I was like so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. I'm like, oh, I was like trying to like change the subject and he's like, yeah, I saw your video. Like it's doing really well. And I remember it was on like 300K views in like a couple days, which is crazy. It had to happen. So it happened. And I put in the work and I put in the time and I put in the energy and I knew that it would do well because that was deep, deep down. Even though I wouldn't admit it and I wouldn't say it, deep down in my heart, I knew, I'm going to get emotional. I knew that was what I wanted to do. Oh. And then like a month after, I broke up with my boyfriend. You know what? That was a great thing for my career because I was able to put my all into my YouTube. And then COVID came around and everything, like my whole life became YouTube in one moment. And I'm so grateful. Oh my God, I'm so happy. And I think sometimes I've reached points in my life where I don't feel like I'm doing good enough. But then I remember that moment that I posted the video and I feel like I was really at a shit point in my life then and I was really stuck and I I was like, fuck it. And I did it. And so if I'm ever feeling down, I just think about myself in that moment and how to, pick myself up and be happy and make the most of what I have, because I'm very grateful and I'm very lucky. Okay, so I'm about to get into how you guys can manifest in the different ways, but I want to talk about telepathy. And you guys are going to think I'm insane, but I feel like I'm a little bit telepathic and I feel like I can read the future a little bit. So many things have made sense to me in terms of like being telepathic and seeing things before they happen. And also I kind of feel like that's a woman's intuition in a sense. But I always freaking know what Adrian's thinking, and he doesn't believe me. I know he doesn't believe me, but I always know what he's thinking. And I sometimes do little exercises with him, and he's gotten good at it too. Like, you got to get into it, but I'll be like, think of a number between 1 and 10, and it's going to come to me and I'm going to say it. And 8 out of 10 times I'll get it right. But you really have to be concentrating and in the moment. It's kind of hard. And then if I get the out of 10, we'll move to out of 20. And then we'll move to like letters or like what animal, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of fun, but it kind of works, which is crazy. And we were actually doing it last night. But if Adrian's thinking of a number, I'll like close my eyes and a heap of numbers will visualize in my brain. Like they'll just pop up into my head. And the number that is like most prominent, I'll say. Sometimes if it's wrong, it'll be like the freaking number that I thought of first, and it's so annoying. But do you want to try?
Okay, wait, ready? I'm thinking of a letter.
A letter?
Yeah.
O?
I should have got, I was thinking of O.
You were thinking O?
I went from O to M back to O.
Okay, see, I got it.
That's fake. So
It's not fake. It's yeah, people are gonna think it's fake, but it's not. So yeah, that's kind of how I am telepathic. But I will have dreams of things before they happen. Oh my God, I will always know when something's up because I will dream it before it happens, and it's fucking crazy because it always happens. And then like one time I was like, I don't know, I was in the other room with Adrian and we were like doing lights or something, and I wasn't in a position to get hit in the head by a light, but I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get hit in the head by a light. And then like 10 seconds later, Adrian dropped a light on my head on accident, and I knew it was gonna happen, but I ignored the feeling, so I didn't move. So yeah, always trust your freaking telepathic energy, because I know a lot of you will have these kind of feelings and you'll relate to what I'm saying in a way, but you will deny it, because that's what I did. I denied my feelings, but I always know when something bad is gonna happen. I always have that sick gut feeling. I always feel nauseous and like nervous for no reason at all. And then later that day, something bad will happen. So I think it's always important to be aware of those feelings. It doesn't mean that you can prevent things from happening, because it definitely doesn't. That's the facts. Like, you'll have these feelings and it'll still happen. So let's get into the ways in which you can manifest. So we're going to start off with vision boards, or like manifestation boards. There's a difference between vision and manifestation. So vision boards is when you literally have a board and you have pictures of the things that you want. I know that's kind of like a goals board. I have a manifestation board, and on my board I have little cards, and I write on the cards what I have, even though I don't have it yet. So for example, I have some little pieces of paper from my board that came true, and they're very specific. I said, I am so grateful to have been to travel to Los Angeles by the end of 2022. And I did it. I traveled to Los Angeles. And then I also said, I'm so thankful that I am able to own/rent here. Here's the problem. I did not have full confidence, and I did not believe in myself that I could achieve what I wanted. So I said, own/rent my dream car, AMG GT/G-Wagon by the age of 23. And I wrote that down, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to buy my dream car. But I completed it because I rented both of the cars. And it was crazy because I wrote this manifestation board probably end of 2020, start of 2021. And I forgot about the board. I forgot about the board completely. And when I got back from LA and I was moving house, I found the board and I looked at it, and literally like 98% of every little card that was written on the board, I had completed. And it included things like I would earn this amount of money by this age. I did something so specific. I don't want to say it because it's a little bit creepy, but I did something so specific and it was a dream of mine for many years and it fucking happened. And like, I'm saying, I can't believe it happened, but also I did believe in myself, therefore it happened. You know, it's absolutely wild. I can't say more than that, but yeah, it was a crazy experience. And to come home and to see something so specific, that was crazy to come home to. And it was crazy to see that in time, it literally works to a T. But that manifestation board has really helped me. And every so often I will go look at it and I will reiterate and I will say, I'm so grateful that I have this. I'm so thankful to the universe that I have this. Even though I don't have it yet, I will have it, therefore I have it. Another manifestation technique is to visualize. Now, this is kind of what I did growing up and I didn't even realize that I was doing it. I visualized having my Tesla. Now, I used to have a Kia and I would drive my Kia and I would visualize driving a freaking crazy cool car. And I would drive around and I would pump music and I would be so happy and I would feel so cool in my dream car, you know? I was like start of 2021 and like I found out that the Teslas were like coming to Australia more and I'm like, oh my God, I really want one. And I was watching all these videos and I'm like, oh my God, I love Teslas. Like they're so cool. They have everything. Like I really want one. And so every time I would get in my car and I would drive my Kia, in my head, I would picture, this sounds insane, I would imagine driving a Tesla. And then I remember the day that I picked up my Tesla and actually driving the Tesla, I was like, I did it. I knew it was going to happen. And I did it. And I worked so hard. It works because subconsciously you're training your mind to be that version of yourself that you want to be. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. I love it. The next method is the 369 method. This method really works. And there's two different ways in which you can do it. The first one is write in the morning 3 times what you want, in the middle of the day 6 times what you want, in the evening 9 times what you want. And 369 is a really crazy important number because it is like the numbers to unlocking the universe, blah, blah, blah. The method that I prefer to use rather than the morning, evening, and night one is to write down the topic 3 times. So for example, you want this job, you really want this job. So you write down marine biologist 3 times, marine biologist, marine biologist, marine biologist. That was super random. And then you set the intention 6 times. So you would say, I have my dream job as a marine biologist 6 times. You write that down 6 times. And then you're supposed to write down the action 9 times. That's basically like saying, I applied to the job and I earned it after 1 interview. And you write that down 9 times. And then at the very end, I like to say, I'm so grateful to the universe that this has happened. And then I freaking throw out the piece of paper or I delete the note in my notes app and then it happens. When you're writing it, imagine it as if you have it and then you thank the universe that that is coming to you and that you have it. And then you forget about it and you leave it in the hands of the universe and it freaking happens. Oh my God, it happens. I'm telling you, it happens 9 times out of 10. I know for some things it's easy to be disappointed, but that's the thing. You can't let yourself have any doubt. Another manifestation technique that I like is positive affirmations. This is just something you can do in your everyday. It's not really deep. You know what I'm saying? This is as simple as like, you know, how I was talking before about the guy who he was going to get paid X amount of money. Therefore, he was in a higher, happier vibration. And how I look in the mirror and I smile every time before I leave the mirror. It's like having that positive vibe, you know, and being positive invites positive. So that's kind of a little easy manifestation technique just to kind of improve your life by being happier and by accepting all good things that are coming your way. Another one that I like, this one's a little bit more witchy. I sometimes feel like I'm a witch. I do some witch things. I will not disclose because they're a little bit crazy. Is moon rituals, which is I like to do them on new moons or full moons, but the moon is very powerful. And if you don't believe me, it literally affects the tides. The waves are controlled by the moon. You know, if we didn't have a moon, we wouldn't have waves. Everything would be a mess. So the moon is definitely very important. Every time that a new moon comes around, if you're in a position to go outside and see the new moon, I like to go up to the moon and be like, I'm so grateful that I have this. and I just start speaking to the moon. And I know that sounds so crazy, but I literally go outside. If it's a full moon or a new moon, wherever I see the moon and I'm like, oh my God, I want to do this. I go outside and I start speaking to the moon. Then I go back inside and I accept that it will happen. It's super simple to manifest, and it doesn't take a whole heap of planning or anything. It's simply just stating what you have, and therefore you will have. Here is a warning before you get into manifestation, because it can go sideways. As I said, you can manifest negative things in your life. So a tip is to always be grateful to the universe and accept all good that is coming your way. And that's as simple as saying that or writing that down, you know what I'm saying? But actually feeling the gratitude. And the second thing is to be so specific, so beyond specific. So that's why when I do it, I like to write down when I will have done it by. You have to get into real detail about what you will have. Do not make room for errors, because errors can happen, because you can naturally manifest things that are very similar that you don't want. So that leads us to my little story. Someone sent this in. This is crazy. Okay. In 2021, I was in a desperate financial state, living in a very cramped, small apartment with my boyfriend. I was willing to do anything, so I tried manifesting/visualizing a new house. At first, I didn't see any results, but around 2 weeks later, my mum called to tell me that my grandmother, in brackets, very rich, had passed away and had left me her house. Manifestation works in amazing and mysterious ways. That's what I'm saying. You have to be so specific, because clearly this girl wasn't specific. She said she wanted a house, and the universe was like, okay, we'll give you a house, but your grandma has to go. You have to be careful when manifesting, because that's crazy. That's crazy. Let's get to playing Spin the Bottle. We'll read through the options like we always do. We have what would you rather, spill the tea, never have I ever, prank call, ask me anything, truth or dare, kiss, marry, kill, and embarrassing story. So let's grab me bottle. Never have I ever. Let's go. Thank you. I have some pre-written cards from Adrian with little questions. So this is a never have I ever card. Never have I ever manifested a guy in my life. Okay, well, yeah, obviously. I actually manifested Adrian. I manifested a guy before you, Adrian, so don't get a big head. What ended up happening was I was with this guy and I wasn't feeling him anymore, so I break up with him. And then I was like, let's see if he comes back if I manifest him. So I went in my notes app and I did the 369 method, and I wrote down his name 3 times. Then I wrote down thing will call me, thing will call me, thing will call me. And then the action, I said, thing will call me in the morning, blah, 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 blah. I read it over. I said I was grateful to the universe. I deleted the notes and it was gone. I went to bed. Guess what I freaking woke up to? I woke up to a call from this guy that I hadn't spoken to. And he was like, hey, I really want to see you. Like, I really want to talk about what happened. And I was like, sorry, nah. I just wanted to see. But it worked. But I actually manifested Adrian, which is crazy. The night that I met Adrian, I was walking into the club. As I was walking up to the club, I was with my friend and I'm like, I found a boyfriend tonight. Tonight, I have found a boyfriend. And that night, I obviously met Adrian, but I left the club so disheartened because I hadn't found a guy that I really liked. Like, nothing had happened between him and I. I was really sussing out my options that night, and I was so upset when I left and I didn't have a future boyfriend. And then the next day, Adrian messaged me and we went on a date, and the rest is history. And then a few months later, I remembered, I was like, oh my God, when I was walking into the club, I was like, I have found my boyfriend tonight at this club. So no matter what situation you are in, never have any doubt in your dreams. And that's why you always see rich, famous people that grow up with nothing. They work their way to the top, you know? Oh, well, people are more privileged than others. They have more, access to things, of course. But that hasn't stopped other people in the past, you know. You have to make use of with what you have. And sometimes all you have is yourself. And yourself is the biggest advantage to anything because you are so powerful. And never forget that. You can have anything that you dream of if you believe in yourself. And I promise you that. You know, it's only worked for me when I've 100% believed in myself. And when I have any doubt, it all goes out the window. So please, people, believe in yourself, be positive, and your life will transform for the better. I promise you. So I'm so in love with this topic. I could go on forever because manifestation is my life. You know what I'm saying? Whether I did it on purpose or not, it has transformed me. So yeah. Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I am really tired because I have done a whole lot of blabbering, but I really hope that you guys enjoyed. I love you so much, and I will see you next week. Good night.